How about this airliner, which features a radical new wing design, which is not a thing that you're seeing often, is brand new developments in this territory. I mean, sometimes you see a plane get bigger, smaller, and I'm talking about passenger planes, not like military or something like that. Here you can see a design that's on a Boeing, VS1, VS2. It looks like a bird, doesn't it?
Yeah.
With the wings placed high on the fuselage, I believe, as opposed to in the midpoint.
Yeah.
And it looks to also maybe create a different cabin as a consequence, where you have like a raised element there in the front part of the cabin, an elevated roof line to it. And once again, maybe it's one of those cases where engineers inspired by nature, possibly, which is really what an airplane is in the first place, a metal bird.
Well, I mean, it would be funny if it started flapping its wings like a bird.
Oh, actual flap. But, you know,
airplane.
the thing is, the flapping portion is the overrated portion for birds. It's, you know, once you see them in the sky, they're flapping. There's not as much of it.
They're more like gliding.
It's a lot of glide. And when you see like a falcon or a hawk or something, it is incredible.
Yeah.
The gliding capability, how long they can just cruise for. Anyway, this is just a rendering at the moment of what a sustainable flight demonstrator could look like. The first flight for something like this could be in 2028. So it will inside be like any other commercial airliner. They're using the example of a Boeing 737. I like a 787.
Why?
What do you mean, why? Don't get me started on this.
Okay.
But I think this is a bit smaller than that, at least this sustainable version that they're talking about. And I presume what you're looking at is more efficient flights requiring less fuel and so forth. But let me just scroll down so we're absolutely certain on that. The reason for creating the new plane, which will be called the Sustainable Flight Demonstrator, is simple: to find a way to make aircraft more fuel efficient. Yeah. Better for the environment. At a press conference in Washington, Pamela Melroy, NASA's deputy administrator, said the initiative was a major new NASA commitment to reducing carbon emissions in the air, because it's also the emissions in the air are so much worse than on the ground. I'm sure you know this, which is why everyone tends to go after people's private jet usage. They're like, hey, man, that's like me driving. That's like me and my whole neighborhood driving our cars for 20 years. You're one flight. Why you got to do that, man? Well, that's been the thing. And it's the emissions up there are much more critical. So this is obviously a big deal. They're not talking about electric jets, which is also cool, maybe even cooler, but probably way further in the future.
Yeah.
2028 to show off something like this is kind of nice.